Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Net General, bringing you some more Total War Warhammer 2 Legendary Lord lore, and today we are looking at the newly announced Markus Wulfhart. He just made his debut in a trailer for The Hunter and the Beast, and today we're gonna go over a little bit of his backstory and what he was like on the old tabletop. Markus Wulfhart. Markus is a relatively new addition to Warhammer itself, the tabletop version, I believe. And Markus was heavily hinted at. People thought we'd see him in Total War Warhammer much earlier because if any of you remember, during the tease before the Beastman came out, there was a letter to somebody asking the recipient of the letter to get their amber bow ready. And a lot of people thought that was Markus, because Markus is the chap who is armed with the legendary amber bow. Now, to give you a bit of history about Markus, Markus was born a commoner, which is quite unusual for the heroes of the Empire, but he was born a commoner in a village called Drakenberg in Midland. And in his little village, he was just enjoying life. He was a hunter. He would just go about his daily business. And one day, a one-eyed bone grinder giant named the Drakwold Cyclops, because of its missing eye, set upon his village and killed everybody. Ate, consumed, just wrecked the place, killed everybody he could find, and left it in ruins. Markus returned, and he was consumed with hatred. He couldn't believe what had happened. All his loved ones had been killed. Everyone he'd ever known had been murdered or eaten by this giant. So he tracked it. He used the skills he has as a hunter, tracked it to its lair. Upon entering its lair, Markus quickly let loose an arrow that hit the Cyclops dead in its good eye. Blinding the Cyclops, in his fit of rage, Markus ran up with his blade drawn and started hacking at the Cyclops of Drakwold's legs, hacking at his hamstrings, which are described as being as thick as rope, and eventually slicing them off, bringing the giant down. Once the giant was down, Markus set about furiously hacking around its neck until he started to lose all feeling in his arm and managed to decapitate this monstrosity. Being just completely caked in the monster's blood, exhausted from battle, Markus still had not quenched the anger in his heart and vowed to himself there in the lair of the Drakwold Cyclops that he would ensure that this horror was never visited upon any other person in the Empire again, and vowed to kill all the monsters that lurk within the borders of the Empire. So he set off about his quest and started killing monsters everywhere he could find them. The exploits of this hero of the woods reached the ears of Karl Franz, and Karl Franz summoned Markus before him. And Karl Franz at this point offered Markus a knighthood and the appropriate estates of someone of that position, essentially allowing Markus to retire and lead the good life. Markus, still consumed by his quest to end the lives of all monsters in the Empire, declined the Emperor's grand offer. So impressed with Markus's tenacity and quests for vengeance and to help secure the Empire's lands, that the Emperor then sent for one of the items from his vaults. The item itself was something called the Amber Bow, which had been enchanted by a wizard of the Amber Lore, or the Lore of Beast, as you may know it in Total War Warhammer. And this essentially allowed arrows fired from the bow to be guided towards the heart of any monster it was aimed at. The bow itself was made out of Drakwold wood, so very much from Markus's homeland, it suited him quite well. Upon giving him the bow, the Emperor also named Markus Huntsmarshal, the chief of all of the Empire scouts, and tasked him with gathering a troop of elite scouts, many of whom were expected to follow Markus's same frame of mind, and go and kill anything that threatens the Empire. He assembled a group of the best bowmen and fighters the Empire had to offer. The men came from far and wide, from across the Empire itself, and although they had their differences, these were soon overcome through the bonds of friendship and camaraderie, and together they accomplished many great feats, including the slaughtering of the Talon Beast of Stirland, the slaying of the Ice Dragon of Ostermark, and the killing of the Chimera of Flamespire Peak, to name but a few of their many, many accomplishments. Many other men may have been paralyzed by fear with the horrors these men had faced down, but Wulfhart had put together one of the most elite fighting forces the Empire had ever seen, and to this day they roam the Empire, ridding it of one monstrosity after another. In terms of Wulfhart's rules on the tabletop, he had hatred towards monsters, he was immune to psychology, and he was a scout. He had a special rule called Monster Hunter, whereby he was allowed to reroll hits when shooting at monsters in particular. And obviously, if he was fighting, he wasn't too far from his band of Wulfhart hunters, as his elite band of scouts came to be named, and he was able to upgrade huntsmen to a better type of huntsman on the tabletop, rendering them immune to psychology as well. Of course, he had his weapon, the amber bow, and the rules on the tabletop for the amber bow were that if it hit a monster, it always wounded on a 4+, sort of ignoring any other resistance the monster may have to the wounds in particular. So a very good weapon against these horrific monsters, and really handy to have when you're trying to take down big targets. And that's about it for Markus Wulfhart. Can't wait to play him in the game. And that's about it from me, guys. But as always, a huge thank you for watching. And I hope to catch you all on the next one. Alright, guys. Bye.